Today's May 1st. It is the day we were supposed to go to the state capitol and to Fort Snelling for our 6th grade field trip. So instead, I'm going to go to St. Paul, and I'm going to show you what I can show you from the outside of the capitol and Fort Snelling. You ready? Let's go. There's a monument garden here at the Capitol. We happen to be standing currently right on the World War II monument. But when you come to visit the Capitol over the summer, you should definitely leave some time to see all of the monuments that are around. One of the things that I think is pretty cool of this World War II monument is it's got all of the counties and everything in this Minnesota map laid out right here. And here, there's Olmsted County and Goodhue County and Dodge County. So we are about right in there in Pinellas. There it is. There's the Capitol. Okay, so I'm standing in front of the Capitol building right now. I'm actually on Martin Luther King Drive, and this is where the buses would drop us off for our field trip. And then we would walk. You can see the pathway back here behind me. We would walk this way up to the steps of the Capitol. It is so beautiful here, and I can't wait for you guys to come and see this on your own and for your families to come too. It is such an amazing building. I'm going to tell you just a little bit of history first. This is actually the third Minnesota State Capitol building. The first one burned down. The second one was built, I'm going to check my notes here, in 1881, and almost right away it was too small. So shortly after that, the commission of the Capitol decided that they wanted to build a grand capitol for the state of Minnesota. So they had a contest, and the architect who won that contest to design Minnesota State Capitol, his name was Cass Gilbert. And I'll link a video so that you can learn a little bit more about him too. But this was an amazing capitol. I wonder if you can guess about how much the Capitol would have cost to build. I'll tell you later in this video. One of the most majestic parts of our Capitol is this self-supporting dome. Below the self-supporting dome, you can see something that is called the Quadriga. Now that's covered in about 6 pounds of gold leaf. There are 4 horses. Each of those horses represents earth, wind, fire, and water. And then there are 2 other statues or people around there, and they represent civilization and prosperity. It's also called the progress of the state. Now, one of the other things that's pretty cool that you can see outlining on the outside of the dome, there are 12 stone eagles, and I wish I could get in just a little bit closer so that you could see those. All the detail that is in this design is really something to behold, especially up close. If you come on a nice day, you can actually ascend the steps inside the Capitol and go up to where the Quadriga is. Now, they maybe don't look so large from down here, but they are quite a bit bigger than actual size. All right, let's go. One of the other things that you can see below the Quadriga is there are 6 statues. I'm going to see if I can point them out. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They represent the 6 virtues, and those virtues are courage, bounty, integrity, prudence, truth, and wisdom. I'm standing on the front steps of the Capitol right now, so you can see where we came from. There are 2 major buildings on either side of the Capitol. This one over here is the Minnesota Judicial Center, and this one over here is an office building. Now, if you remember looking over there, you can see the Minnesota History Center. That's where we spent our time in December at that field trip. So behind me, you can see sort of a point of controversy. When Cass Gilbert was designing and building this Capitol, he was adamant that one of the stones he wanted to use was marble. And this is marble from the state of Georgia. Now, this is in 1896, so it's, about 30 years after the end of the Civil War. However, people of Minnesota were a little bit like, I'm not sure if we want to use marble from Georgia. Number one, we want the money to stay in the state. We want you to be able to use the resources of Minnesota to build this capital. Well, what they ended up doing was they ended up renting a quarry in Georgia so that they could use Minnesota workers to come down, quarry that marble, and then bring that back to Minnesota. But he wanted really regal stone. He wanted this to be a show place to actually demonstrate to the rest of the United States that Minnesota was not just some rural place, that we had amazing people and amazing things, just like places in New York City and Philadelphia and things like that. In addition to marble, you can see one other kind of stone out here, and that's what the steps and everything are made of. That's granite, and that is a stone that is found commonly in Minnesota. This one was quarried in St. Cloud. So there's St. Cloud granite, there's Ortonville granite, and there's a lot of other types of stone, which I'll talk about in a little bit, inside the Capitol. This is the entrance of the Capitol. This is where we would wait for our tour guide to come and greet us. Again, we have this Georgian marble. It is just amazing. Light fixtures, original from 1905, which have obviously been updated. One of the other things about our Capitol is cool is that it had its own power source and its own power plant built right in. And so it didn't have to rely on outside power in 1905. All the railings are original. The doors. There's a bird up there. I don't think that bird's original, but it's having a good time flying around in here. Oh, see ya. So the doors are pretty cool. You can see that the Capitol is not open. It says it's open to critical employees only. But I'm going to peek inside to see if you can see. No, you're only going to be able to see the reflection here. So looking out, again, this is what you'd see. All over, inside and outside the Minnesota State Capitol, you will find M's. Some are kind of obvious, like this one, but you still have to search for them, and some are much more hidden. So I challenge you, when you come here with your families, to actually see how many of those hidden M's you can find. Again, you see all of this Georgian marble here. Just the craftsmanship is amazing. So beautiful. The other type of granite that I can see here is like this pink granite. It's like pink quartz granite that's built in there. Now inside the state capitol, there are over 30 different kinds of stone. So in that dome, there is also another very special part of our Capitol building, and that's the chandelier. That chandelier has 40,000 individually placed pieces of crystal. It has 90 light bulbs in it. It's 6 feet in diameter, and it looks small. When you stand in the rotunda and you look up and you see it, you think that's not very big, but it is huge. Like I did in class the other day, if you take your arms and you just extend your arms out, it's not even going to be 6 feet, and that's how big it is. In fact, all of you could stand inside of it if it were something that was hollow. 90 light bulbs, 40,000 crystals, and do you know how much that weighs? It weighs a ton. That means 2,000 pounds. Now, it's not lit every day. It's lit for only special occasions, and the most special occasion is Minnesota's birthday. So every year on May 11th, it is lit for the day. It's also lit on other special occasions, but that's the one day you can count on every year that Minnesota lights its most grand chandelier. Well, I'm bummed I can't take you inside, because some of the things that I would show you inside, or our tour guides would show you inside, is all of the different kinds of stone that you would be able to see. It is majestic. There are columns in there of Italian marble. There are columns of granite. There's pipestone. There's Casota limestone. So everything that you walk on, the steps and everything, is Casota limestone, and that's taken right from southern Minnesota. Now those white marble columns, or those Italian marble columns, those are actually 20 feet high, and they're 3 feet around. explain everything that's there. You must come and visit the Minnesota State Capitol on your own. If you don't, you're really missing out on one of the greatest buildings, not only in Minnesota, but in our entire country. I hope you enjoyed the little snapshot I was able to give you of the Capitol, and I can't wait to hear about when you and your family come to the Capitol on your own. So I'm back in our classroom, and I realized that I never gave you the answers to the questions that I had asked you about how much the Capitol cost to build. Well, you might be surprised to know that at that point, it cost $4.5 million. That's $4,500,000. That's a lot of money, especially in 1905 when it was finished. Now today, it would cost over $400 million to build. So that cost has increased obviously dramatically over the last century. And in 2017, a renovation was completed on the Capitol, where every centimeter of the Capitol was touched, was cleaned, was fine-tuned, was restored, was repaired, everything. And that cost $310 million. So while it's expensive, our Capitol building has stood the test of time, and I cannot wait for you to go and see it on your own.